Here we go. Hi, I'm Trey, Broken Path Shaman, welcoming you to my virtual medicine lodge. And this is where I meditate with you. So it's an unguided meditation. It's not guided, but I share space with you by being here meditating in my way, hoping you bring your own ways of meditating to this moment in time. And if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in chat or reach out to me at some other time or put a comment. It's all fine. Now, this is really for all levels, but do what you can and listen to your body. Listen to what your body tells you. Like if it's too much, just stop. If you want a little bit more, go ahead and activate a little bit more. And also, you don't have to finish it. I do 3 10-minute cycles. So you see me in a new pose, you've done 10 minutes. Good time to move on if that's too much for you. All right. So without further ado, let's get this started. All right. So this first cycle, I like to sit in a Vajrasana pose, or rock pose it's actually called. So Sanskrit is Vajrasana. Diamond pose or thunderbolt pose or other names for it, where you sit on the soles of your feet. I like to sit on my heels. I'm still working on getting those kind of stretched out the way I want, and I just like the way it feels. But that's called a rock pose, I found out later. So I love there's names for all this stuff. I mean, if you put one toe up, it's probably got a different name. But what I focus on, besides getting in a position that's comfortable for me, so pick a position that's comfortable for you, is to breathe. And so during this meditation, the focus of my breath is going to be an active inhale. So I work on the inhale. And then a passive exhale. And that would be just letting it go. So I have a yang inhale, very active, yang. And then a yin exhale, just letting that go. And as I let it go, I just kind of imagine those muscles just relaxing, releasing any tension. It's early in the morning for me, but there's still tension. Years of tension, things build up around traumas and different concerns. So also last thing I'll say is while I'm breathing, I try and imagine my posture and just feel out what's the proper position for my body. Because when I'm full of air, when I've inhaled fully, that's when I check my body to see, am I leaning forward? Am I maybe out of alignment somewhere? So just a little tip for you. All right. Namaste. Thanks for joining today. Now, I do like to do a namaste, and when I do namaste, I put my thumbs on my chest, right? On my sternum specifically, near the heart chakra. Now, I like to instruct folks to focus on the corners of our lips, the edges of our mouths, and stretch those muscles to the sky. The most courageous muscles in our body. Again, don't do anything that would hurt yourself or feels like too much. And if you have questions, put them in chat or make a comment, and I'll follow up with you. May this Reiki be for the good of all, for the harm of none. If it is not needed, may it nourish the earth. again, be gentle with your body. You've been in a position for a while. Make sure your body's okay. Check it out. So that was a signal for the second pose, or end of the first pose. Now, again, taking time to let blood flow back into my legs. I've been on them for 10 minutes or so. So definitely want to not jump into anything, potentially hurt ourselves or myself further. All right, so I am recovering from a pinched nerve. And while I recover, I want to remind folks that modification is a part of this. If you get into poses, some days you can't. And when you can't, I recommend modifying. But intentful modification, or what I say is I bring intent to my meditation space. And that's what makes it meditation for me, is the intent that I bring to it. And when I'm doing these poses, I want to get as close to what I like about the pose as possible. So I love when I am in the second cycle pose, which is a Baddha Konasana pose or bound ankle pose. So Sanskrit name for it's Baddha Konasana, but it's a bound ankle pose or butterfly pose. And in that pose, I love having the soles of my feet touching. Now I also want to relax my muscle in my left leg. It seems very tense. And then as I inhale, I want to lengthen my spine, ultimately balancing my head at the top of that spine. And then I also want to drop my shoulders down and back away from my ears. So there's a lot going on, but the key is to modify and get as much of that original feel as possible, right? So I'm gonna modify more because I'm having difficulty with that modification. I just want to say all our bodies are different, so keep that in mind. And I think it's okay to aspire to something you can't do, but definitely don't force yourself to try and do things you can't do. Your mind is going to set the intent, your body is going to work to catch up with it. And it's going to remember with intellect your accomplishments and bring that forward to the next day. So, what I'm saying there is do what you can, but don't push yourself, because whatever you did do, you're going to remember some of that and be able to use it again. Way different than trying to jump into something you can't do today. We are tempest in teacups with milk. There's so much going on the inside that no one can see necessarily on the outside. Another good reason not to push ourselves further than we can go that day or today. Now, for me, I was supporting myself with my hands, and I was imagining, or not imagining, but pushing out towards these fingers, trying to get off of this wrist, right? Get off the wrist and move up to the fingers. And just these fingers, really. Just these. But what I feel is all the way up the arm to the shoulders. And then at points, I'm trying to expand that chest. So tons going on. Probably rewind, maybe watch it. There's other stuff I didn't mention, but tons going on. Just remember, just keep it that intent. That's the beauty of this. I love it. All right, so signal for the third pose. I don't know, am I getting high on meditation? So for the third pose, I like to remind us that we as humans are uniquely positioned between both the bodies of the sky and the earth. So while in this third cycle, doing a Tadasana, which is a Sanskrit for mountain pose, I'm going to focus on stretching towards the sky and grounding out towards the earth's core. While keeping my toes and heels together for Tadasana. So if you want proper Tadasana and all the aspects of it, I recommend looking it up. I check out BKS Iyengar, but any Tadasana is fine. Just a little adjustment. There we go. And I'm reminded same principles apply even in this Tadasana. I'm trying to take an active inhale and then imagine those muscles relaxing on the exhale. I'm gonna switch up so I can look at this mirror behind me, because the Tadasana, in order to really get a correct form, gotta pull those knees up. And when I go to pull the knees up, there we go. I can't feel it. There it is, partly. Now I'm just doing a little balancing here for my arms, because I did one side. I just wanted to do the other side. All right, so not to be improper, but I think at some point I might end up wearing yoga like shorts because I need to see my knees for some of this. I need to see just how my hips are doing. So not to get lewd, but my wardrobe might change up a bit. All right, so thank you so much. That's the end of the meditation for today. That Tadasana was awesome. I was really towards that third posture working on yoga more than breathing, because it was such a strenuous pose. Who would think mountain pose? You're just standing, right? With your arms at your side. But getting all the little adjustments right had my mind overthinking. So it's okay to not achieve. It's okay to not get to where you thought you were going to be. That's the whole point of doing this daily, is to just make incremental growth and dedicate really to the practice of doing it, right? So then in the future, it gets easier to jump in, or easier to notice when I'm not doing the meditation as fully as I want to, right? So all things to keep in mind. Namaste. Thanks for joining today. I was so happy to share space with you and get to watch the divine awaken in you. So the light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much. All right. I'll see you in the